today's economy, living off of one income can seem impossible, but we've managed to do it with 5 kids for the last 3 years. And in today's video, I kind of want to show you how I think that we have successfully done it. Hi, my name is Brayden. I am a homemaker to 5 children. And YouTube is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, so welcome to my first video at that. When I was a teenager, I used to upload singing videos, and I'm pretty sure they're still on YouTube, so have fun looking at those if you want. You know, the closer that I get to 30, the more I realize that, I am going through a crisis where I need to do things that I've been putting off pretty much all of my 20s. So, hello. Here we are. Anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes. There is a lot of sacrifice living this way. I'm not going to lie to you. We've been living off of one income for the last 3 years. My husband is the breadwinner. Before those 3 years, there wasn't a time that I did make a small income as a photographer and virtual assistant. But it just felt like the more kids that we had, the less I could be away from the house. And when you're shooting weddings and photographing families, you have to actually be away from the house. So I slowly started phasing out of work until eventually I had $0 I was bringing in. With that, I have compiled a list of ways that I believe that we have been living successfully off of one income. All right, so let's go to the kitchen. I save a lot of money in the kitchen. I was an okay cook when I first met my husband, but as the years have progressed, I think I've gotten a lot better. But a lot of it is because I have learned how to cook from scratch. And I don't cook everything from scratch because there's some things that take a lot of time to cook from scratch. There's things like yogurt that's really easy to cook. You can make an entire gallon of yogurt for pretty much the same price as you can get a little quart of yogurt at the store. I also bake a lot of bread. I bake a lot of our rolls. I bake a lot of bread. And it's not always sourdough bread. A lot of the times is instant yeast, but I've just found that it is a lot more cost effective to bake your own bread. Plus it just tastes better. Can't say that I'm the best at this one because there is times that I do buy bread, but to kind of not buy hot dog buns, hamburger buns, rolls. I just make it. Granola bars are another thing that I make a lot at home, or these little protein balls, brown sugar, barbecue sauce, all very easy things to make at home. Also, I buy a lot of products in bulk. I tend to go to Costco a lot. Costco is a really great way to save money because you can also get organic food, and because you're buying more of it, it seems to come out cheaper per item. So we don't have an Aldi anywhere close to where I live. I know a lot of people always suggest oh, you should shop at Aldi, but I've never been to an Aldi, and I think the closest Aldi might be 7 or 8 hours away. But I will say we do live semi-close to a Winco, which I just shopped at for the first time. I actually made a whole vlog on it, so that'll be a video that's coming up. There was some really well-priced items there, and I definitely think that when I go to Costco, I will be stopping at Winco as well because a lot of their items were priced very well. I get a lot of eggs and meat from my neighbors, which you might think oh, that is not really a way to save money, but I actually can save money this way because I recently just scored 10 dozen eggs for $3 a dozen. And at the time of this video, the eggs that I was buying, 5 dozens, was $20. And so I pretty much saved $10. When you are trying to live frugally, every dollar counts. We don't buy a lot of prepackaged items. Every now and again for homeschool trips, I will buy the beef sticks because it's a really good source of protein for my kids and it helps them stay full. But a lot of the snacks that we actually snack on are whole foods. So apples, oranges, fruit, banana, and whatever snacks that I can make. So like I said, granola bars, things like that. Prepackaged snacks are so expensive. Sometimes I do buy them if I know that we're going to have a really busy week and a lot of outings, but if we're at home, I would just prefer to just make something. I live by the word we have food at home. Anymore, whenever I try to go out to eat, it's just stressful because like I said, 5 kids. Overall, eating this way is healthier for you anyway, especially when you're not adding a lot of gunk and junk to your food. All right, which brings me to our next point. So for a long time, we didn't have a car payment. Not having a car payment, I feel saved us a lot of money. Can't really say that this is our case anymore because recently we did decide to buy a truck because we have plans to get horses. We just kind of got to a point in my husband's job where he is going to need a truck because of the way that his job is. But for a long time, we made do without a car payment. I actually still have the car that I bought when I was 19. We lived this way for a really, really long time. All of our cars were completely paid off. Even if they weren't the nicest of cars, they were paid off. It's just one of those things that I had to accept that I don't need the nicest, newest car to get from point A to point B. There's some old cars out there that are affordable, that are great, have a lot of good life left in them. So that's what we did. We just didn't have a car payment for a long time. I actually still have the car that I bought when I was 19. So I've had that car for 10 years at this point because I'm 29 now and she is still going strong. We also made sure to buy years of cars that my husband felt comfortable working on, because there's some cars, like if you have a handy husband or a handy person near you, they might be able to fix some of these problems, so that can also save you a bit of cash. Thrifting and secondhand shopping is my favorite thing to do. So I found a love of thrifting from my grandmother, and my husband found a love of thrifting from his mother. So the two combined, we just go ham in a thrift store. We love to thrift shop. Unless our children need like really good gear, like specific snow gear or like for sports, most of everything that we get is secondhand. You'd be surprised at how many brand new things that I have found thrifting. Like I one time found a North Face coat with the tag still on for my son. I was stoked. I find Under Armour, Nike, every name brand that my oldest child loves in a thrift store. It's usually in pretty good shape too, so there's that. There's like free stores around where I live, so I will visit them sometimes to just see what I can pick up. We don't buy new clothes hardly ever. It always just feels so much better like when I can find an item that is name brand and in really good shape at a thrift store than I do when I have to go buy it at a store. But I am always so stoked. I'm like, look at what I found for $5. Which brings me to my next point, which is I don't believe kids should have to go without. So I've found ways to make their childhood fun without spending a lot of money. So for example, vacations. When we go on vacation, we do a lot of like outdoors things. So we'll go camping or we'll visit family because, they typically have like a place for us to stay. And then when we visit the family, we make sure to like check out the local parks, check out the local state parks, check out the local national parks. Like we just went to the Grand Canyon a few weeks ago, and overall that trip actually wasn't that expensive because we could stay with family, and the Grand Canyon pass was only like $30 or something, and we got to spend the whole day just exploring the Grand Canyon. And then as far as like activities go, I will make sure to utilize like the free days at the theater. There's a theater that will put on movies local to me for free for the kids. There's also like a local community center that hosts events for children, and then I just make sure to look at all the community events. There's so many good community events. Like my son recently visited this local event that had a lot of funding, and I want to say he learned about like how to survive outside. It was really, really cool. And there's always so many like free things going on for children around where I live, so that's definitely something that you should check out too if you're looking to save a little bit of money on these kid events. Also, utilize the library. The library always has so many good things going on for children, and not only that, books. We love to read, but it'd be so expensive to go buy a new book all the time. So what do? Go to the library. So while living on one income, we did buy a home this summer. This is our first house that we've ever bought. And to get to this point was interesting. When me and my husband first met and we were pregnant with our second child, we bought a mobile home, and we lived in that mobile home. It was completely paid off for like 2 years. We had to pay lot rent, and that saved us so much money. It was not cute. It was not a cute mobile home. Like it was cute because it was my house and I made it cute. If your goal is to really save money and to live off of one income, this way I found was very, very, very helpful. We saved thousands and thousands of dollars. I actually did the math, and we lived there for free for 2 years. We did have a lot rent, but when I went and sold the mobile home, I made all my money back from what we paid in lot rent. So we lived there pretty much for free for 2 years. Then after that, we did end up moving to Hawaii, but even in Hawaii, I still found a way to not pay ridiculous rent in like Hawaii terms. Anyway, that's a whole different story. And then after, when we moved back to where we live now from Hawaii, we did live in a camper for a while. That was also a really great way to save money. And then eventually, after living in the camper, we did move into this house. This isn't like a house that I think that I would have chosen for myself, if I had a great budget, but I also saw long term that just because it was a fixer-upper, we could definitely fix it up to make it our own. We wanted like an affordable mortgage, and I feel like we really got that. It did come with some issues, like it didn't have heat, it was unfinished, and then it came with a lot of items. Before we bought it, we did rent it. So I spent the last 3 years just basically getting rid of things and like donating them and selling cars and just like trying to fix it up and make it our own. We've basically basically have turned into master DIYers. Some things that we've updated: kitchen. All I really did was put new countertops on, and then I had some leftover paint from painting our bedrooms upstairs, so I just painted the cabinets green. You'd be surprised how much just painting a space makes it feel, but it's a long ways to go. We still have like a lot of missing trim. There's a hole in my ceiling currently. I really lucked out on this house, to be honest, and it has taken a lot of work to get it to where we're at, and we're not even near close to where I want it to be at. We have a lot of things to clear out still, but we're getting there, right? It's a slow process. But every day we just work towards making this house our home. And I almost rather do that than buy like a brand new build. This house was built in the 1800s. So with all that, that's how we've managed to live off one income for the last 5 years. So this is my first YouTube video, but the next video that will be uploaded is how I plan on using Notion and the 2025 year calendar, just to like how I keep track of my life as a busy mom and now a content creator. Make sure that you check out that one when it uploads. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great